Hey, this is Lewis for a true ghost story. Oh, it seems several years ago now, I was working at a community college. And I basically had two jobs. I worked in two different departments for the same college. I taught English as a second language for what was called their Career Training Center and their ESL department certain evenings. But I worked at the Career Training Center every day, Monday through Friday. One evening, I had just finished up teaching my day classes, and I did indeed teach ESL for their ESL department that evening. And I was getting ready after I had a bite at a Colombian restaurant. I tried caldo gallego for the very first time, which is, I believe, a type of potato soup. It was absolutely delicious, caldo gallego. So that was my first time having that, and went back to my office in the building where I had taught ESL for the Career Training Center aspect or department of that particular community college at the time. And it's so funny because not more than a few days before, I remember saying to myself, you know, of all my psychic experiences, precognitive dreams that had come true, a number of things, the one thing I hadn't experienced up until then that I had always kind of feared but wanted to experience is having a ghost encounter. I said to myself, well, I know a lot about metaphysics, New Age, had read a ton of books at the time, had written a number of articles, a couple of which were published for a magazine at the time called Transformation Times. And I'm saying to myself, wow, I've never seen a ghost. That would be really cool to see a ghost. Well, as they say, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Well, as it turned out, that particular evening, I was back in my office, as I said, getting ready to leave the building, getting my books and paperwork in order, to not go home yet, but to go to another building in another part of town in order to teach for the ESL department. I was teaching yet another ESL course, writing, grammar, composition, reading, writing, grammar, that sort of thing. I really adore teaching ESL. Anyway, getting my paperwork together, I knew that I was the only one, or should have been the only one in the building, minus maybe one or two maintenance people, cleaning up and closing up the buildings. And, it was so quiet I could hear a pin drop. Well, all of a sudden I heard a kind of noise that startled me. I went by the doorway, looked down the hallway in the direction of a classroom. Now this classroom is right by a staircase. Now the stair landing is directly across from the classroom, and that's the only entrance to the classroom. The steps themselves lead up to the attic. This was, I believe, the third floor, and the next floor would have been the attic. And I looked down in the direction of the classroom, and I saw a woman descending from the staircase from the attic. She had black hair, page boy haircut. She was wearing a pullover sweater that was, I believe, black and white stripes, and she was carrying books, and she was wearing glasses. I had seen all these details vividly. I called after. I said, hello, miss, who are you? No one's supposed to be in the building at this time. Ma'am, who are you? Hello? I shouted, and it was just like 3 or 4 yards away from where my office was. Well, I walk down the hallway and into the classroom. I peer into the classroom, and there was absolutely no one there. Nada, nobody. And there's no way she could have exited that classroom other than that one entryway, that one entrance. That's right across from the steps or the staircase that she had just walked down from to go into the classroom. So she literally disappeared, completely ignored me. And so that was my first ghost encounter. What's interesting about this is that I had always thought that ghosts would be the ones to try to scare living people. And I never dreamed that my first encounter would entail a ghost that would ignore me or act like she might have been afraid of me. So that was really, really interesting, and I was a little bit nervous, a little bit frightened, but at the same time I thought it was really cool that I manifested this ghost encounter right after kind of wishing for it, not more than like a couple or to a few days before. And several other incidents had happened in the same building. This building, for this particular community college, is indeed, or at the time was indeed, a converted convent for a Catholic church that was turned into classroom space and some office space. had about 3 floors, and the attic. And I had seen this ghost on the 3rd floor, and I'll never forget it. And my Lord, this was in the early 1990s, and I'm relating this story to you now in 2016. But it's something that will always stay with me, and it goes to show you that you can manifest whatever it is you have your heart set on, but be prepared for what you ask for, because you may indeed just get it, even if it is a ghost. Lewis here for True Ghost Stories. Ciao, Bambinos.